Okay, thank you so much, Joanne. That was wonderful. And you are so beautiful today, definitely. Okay, so now, ladies and gentlemen, let's come back to me, all right? Dr. Atya, as usual, your friend, your colleague, your sister, and I'm here under the Curtis crest for another session, which is very, very important and exciting, which I am going to have a short interview with the president of IFLA, which is nobody else than Mr. James Hayter. Okay, hi, James.
Hi, Noatia. It's great to see you. You've got a beautiful
Great.
setting there at Penang Hill. It looks
Oh,
wonderful.
yeah. This is under the Curtis crest of the habitat, the one that we should visit together, supposedly.
It's one of the most beautiful spots in Malaysia. It's just a wonderful sight.
Correct, yeah. And you also have a very nice garden as your setting. Would you mind to share with us a little bit?
Well, I'm in my garden. I live in Adelaide in South Australia, so you can see my garden behind me, a
Oh my
part of
God.
it. So the wattles are flowering at this time of year. It's just spring's beginning, so it's
Oh
very
my
beautiful.
God. It's so beautiful, definitely. And I envy your setting as well. So, James, I believe our viewers today are very lucky because we're able to see the real life garden of our Mr. President. And I think this is basically an amazing experience for all of us. Yeah. So, okay, James, because we are now towards the closing ceremony of IFLA 2020, the
Yeah.
journey that we have been waiting for the past 7 years, actually been working really hard for the past 2 years. And of course, there are stories and memories that we would like you to share with our audience today. So, I have the first question which I want to ask you, James. Okay. How do you find the discussion and meetings that we have to do in the process of deciding that this year Congress has got to go online? Would you like to share your journey?
Well, it's been a journey, as you say, but it's been a really enjoyable one. I think it's just been such a pleasure working with you and Charles and Dr. Suhadi and the team from ELAM. It has been a journey to prepare. When we first started planning this conference, of course, there was no COVID, so we were all prepared to go and join you in person, which we would have loved to have done in Penang, but because we couldn't do it. But ELAM's just been fantastic. They've been so adaptable to be able to look at these changed circumstances and then create what is actually IFLA's first virtual Congress. And I think it's been such a success and such a credit to ELAM that you've pulled off such a fantastic event.
Thank you so much, James. And what we would like to say here is that Elam is a reflection of IFLA. That means we have to be resistant in any challenges that we are facing. Am I right?
I think we've all worked together really well in it. And ELAM has been a member of IFLA for a long time now, and has been one of its great friends that's helped advance the profession, not only in your own country, but also in the APR, the Asia Pacific region. And the lessons that have been learned from that extend throughout the world as well. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you for supporting us, James, as the president of IFLA and definitely our family. So now my second question is that you gave the first ever welcoming speech in IFLA Congress online. And for this year, it happened on our first day of the opening ceremony. That was on the 18th of August, 2021. How do you feel? How do you feel that you have to go online for the speeches and you don't see physically all your colleagues around the globe for this opening ceremony?
I think the whole thing has been, of holding a virtual congress has been a discovery for us as well. So we didn't know how it would work out, and it's in the end it's worked out just so well for us all that it's just been fantastic. One of the discussions that's been happening in IFLA over the past few years has been how can we make our congresses more inclusive, and with climate change and a desire not to want to travel using up travel miles for it, is that we've been talking about the idea of having virtual congresses anyway. And I think that what you've shown us in this Congress is that they can work, I mean, I was just astonished to think that we've had 2,000 landscape architects tuning into the Congress that represent 33 countries throughout the globe. Now, that's just not possible if we have to jump in a plane and go to a location. So I think in the future, all Congresses are going to be a mix. Hopefully, we can still get together and still see each other, but they are going to have to be a mix of people who are also that we can join online and we can become part of a virtual Congress.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much, James. And we know that we have to do something for the future as landscape architects is always, I believe, always be able to adapt to the situation. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. And then I also would love to hear from you personally. How do you experience this virtual online congress, the paper session, exhibition, technical tour, kopitiam shows, and other activities that we have online? So how do you experience all this?
I mean, it's just so inclusive being able to tune in and watch the Congress through. So I think the way that it's been organised is that it's allowed us to tune in when we can. And as you know, you're reaching out to the whole of the globe. So the amount of different time zones is difficult for people to actually tune into. But I think that what you've been able to do by recording it, that we can play back the sessions afterwards. We can tune in on the sessions we want to see in it. And I think it's also helped with the speakers. So just as Congress attendees, it's sometimes difficult to get on a plane and to travel. It's the same with speakers, and sometimes speakers won't come to a Congress because they can't take time off or they can't get there. But if you can record and then come to do it via virtual means, and it does work really well for us.
Yeah. So I think everybody is enjoying IFLA 2020 at their own pace of time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, James, being the president of IFLA, I am also love to hear from you, since that our Congress team this year is actually future tense. So what can we take up from here, from IFLA 2020 for the betterment of landscape architecture industry throughout the world, throughout the globe? So what can we learn and take up from this Congress this year?
Well, so much. Yeah, there's so much that people that have tuned in can learn from it, because we've had themes of climate action and health and well-being and Indigenous cultures, agriculture, the importance of that, community participation in design, some of those key themes which relate to the values of landscape architects. But all of those have been spoken about in this Congress, and I think people who are attending it can go away and think that, there's been some really good wisdom talked about and some of the lessons and that can be taken from it. I think, as in all Congresses too, what it's about is it's about just establishing networks that people can connect to afterwards. So even if it's not just listening to the session, it's being able to see who the personalities are and the people who have got the passions in the themes and the ideas that they think that they can follow up afterwards. So that networking and that connection is such a strong part of any Congress. And I've found that in this virtual Congress that it's happened too.
Fantastic. I think that's brilliant, James. That's brilliant. Yeah. So I believe everybody would have agreed with you that this online session, even though we are not physically together, but even virtually, we can extend our networking and also feels very close to each other. Yeah.
Yes, that's great. Yeah, that's good.
And I have one last question for you, a secret maybe you want to share with us today. How do you personally engage yourself with this online video on demand and whatnot? Maybe you're having it in your garden or while you're having your coffee or anything that you want to share with us?
I mean, isn't that so great? You're right. You can be cooking dinner and listening to a fantastic speaker from China talk about their experiences, or somebody from Africa sharing their experiences, or from the United States, or any of the countries that are participating in the Congress. So
Mhm.
yes, you can do it. What I was doing is I can do it at work too. So you can be listening in to work, and then listening into the sessions, which mean so much to us. So again, thank you for being able to bring to us such a diversity of speakers from all over the world. It's really terrific.
Thank you so much, James. I think that's all for today. We have a very fruitful discussion, and everybody is listening the enjoyment of our first ever virtual IFLA 2020 World Congress. Thank you so much. And we also wish you all the best in your presidency journey in IFLA. And we're going to get together whenever we can, possible, and invite you to come to Penang, and of course to the habitat, the place where we're having our shooting today. So, James, thank you so much, and keep on supporting Elam, because we definitely cannot stand alone, and we all have to work together.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, stay safe and stay happy.
Okay. Take care, everyone.
See
Thank
you in
you.
Korea next year. Bye bye,
Bye.
James.
Yeah, bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.